Hello, and welcome back to an episode of Rant Bollox. It's been a while. I think the last 5 episodes we've talked, we've said it's been a while, but a lot's been happening for us, hasn't it, Paul?
It's our catchphrase. It's been a while. We're back. That's what we say every time we come back.
But now we're back, but in different. I was going to say countries, but you're so far away that you might as well be in another country.
It is pretty far.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul has moved. He has gone beyond Toronto. Where are you, man? Where are
Most
you?
people don't even know we're in Toronto, so I could just say anywhere now. I'm in Malaysia. I'm in Vancouver, which is the other side of the country if you're going all the way to the west.
Yeah.
Just
And
got back to
loving
the
it so
ocean.
far.
Got sick of the city. No offense to Toronto, but I grew up by the ocean, so I had to get back.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, like, because you're from Bray in Ireland, and it's all like nice and peaceful there and stuff, like by the ocean. So I guess you're kind of going back to those roots, aren't you?
Yeah, it's just, it's one of those things where, like, if you grow up in that kind of environment, it's what you like. Like, people who grew up in the Bahamas, they're going to miss sunshine. They're going to go back someplace hot. And I've met a few of them in Toronto, and they're like, yeah, it's nice in the summer, but those other 5 months of the year, I want to kill myself.
Exactly, yeah. It gets to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, good for you, man. And you're getting all set up. So that's been happening. And then I don't know, other things have taken off for you as well in the TV world. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but you don't have to.
Yeah, I
but,
did some TV stuff. I wrote a TV show. It's out now. I'm not going to bother about telling people, but yeah, I finally got some work in the TV industry. Trying to work my way in there so I can get my Batman v Superman script remake done. This time Superman hits Batman with the toilet. It's great.
Yeah, it's still mums are called Martha though. You know, that's,
yeah, exactly.
That's a for sure thing. So
I think it's time for a new awesome. Spider-Man. Yeah. I think this Tom Holland guy has run his course. He's had 2 movies. It's time for a new one. Let's remake Spider-Man again.
Too many, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's obviously been busy. My son is 1 now, so just been kind of going through that stuff. But we've still been watching movies. We've still been playing games and geeking out. So we just
playing
wanted
too much games. We should have been twitching.
Well,
I played a lot of games.
That is, I'm looking forward to talking about that section because Paul, I'm pretty sure, was addicted to Blackout at one point.
Yeah. We've gone over this. I have an addictive personality. I can't do it.
It was. It's funny. It's funny what happened there when I logged in and to see what level you were at, and I'm like, I was trying to work out like how could he be at this level, like, and I was just like, anyway, but we'll definitely get to that. But
yeah, you gotta let the people know what the sections are because it's been so long. Even I don't know what we're doing anymore, Al. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, at one point we had a bit of a structure, and it was like kind of the TV and movies, and then it was a bit of gaming and tech. But you know, we can do it however we like. So, yeah. But
what we've learned is that you can't run a podcast when one of you has a baby, the other one has a full-time new job, and moves to the other side of the country. It's a little too much to balance.
Yeah.
But I think right now we've finally got a system rolling that we can deal with.
Yeah. Well, we're we enjoy doing these. We miss doing them, and the thing is, like I was saying, we're still watching movies. We're still doing all the game. We're doing all the things that we talk about in the podcast. So we just need to set the time to talk about it, and that's exactly what we've done. So we've got a few things in the making, but we're just bringing these back. So and we can start in any order. In fact, fuck the rules. Let's just go straight into the addiction, seeing as that's quite a hot topic. So it was one of the last episodes, and again, they've been I think we've done one in the last 6 months or whatever. But I do remember talking about it because Battle Royale was a big thing, and I was telling you whether the Battlefield one would be good or the Call of Duty one. Funny thing is, the Battlefield one's not even out yet. It's out next month. So they've kind of shit the bed there because they released the game in like little sections kind of thing.
Right.
And their Battle Royale section was like one of the last things to come out. And everyone's like, well, you know, there's all these other Battle Royale games and you should have brought it out when the game came out, not just kind of this post-launch stuff. But Blackout, yeah, Blackout was a lot of fun. I know you downloaded it, got a couple of mates on it, but yeah, like what do you think of Blackout? Basically, if we
Oh God,
even though it's been a while since you've played it, but
yeah, I've had the fortune of having an intervention, which was the move. So I haven't had my computer or I haven't had Wi-Fi, so I couldn't go near it. So it's been like 3 or 4 weeks since I played it, but I was playing that
yeah.
thing nearly every day.
And you just enjoyed, like, you played in squads as well. But personally, I'll play in a squad when I know the people, and I'll team up and mic out. But you'll actually play with just randoms because you really enjoy it, don't you?
Yeah, and then like you said, if you find some people you get along with and you can laugh with, they add you to their group or whatever. That's what I like too. When there's people I can play with, it's fun. But I think what bugs me is like when you play by yourself in that game, and you get further and further, and you're in the top 20, top 10, and then you're into that final circle, and you don't get first place. It just hurts so bad. It's just
It really
because you
does.
put so much effort into it. Like you're sweating, your heart rate's going up, and it's just like the tension. Like you're listening to every sound that's going on. You're watching every corner. You're like, oh, I didn't check the doors last time, and whatever. And it gets to you. I think when you're in a squad, there's like a little less tension. But it's
Yeah.
when you're playing by yourself, that commitment to it, that like total focus. It's what's the game's so great, but it's really hard to get out of.
It's what we talked about when you get to that last, I'd say 10, maybe 5. You do get the sweaty palms, don't you? And the controller starts shaking in the last 2. You know,
Oh
'cause
yeah,
you're just like because it's within your grasp, and you're like, I want to see that one flash up on the screen. You know?
yeah. And when you're when you're in that like final 3 or whatever, and there's 2 other guys right there, and if you just get lucky and you get the shot quick enough, you're going to be number 1. But
Yeah.
what'll happen is he'll pop out from behind a tree, or he has a better gun, or whatever it is, and then you end up being second, and it just hurts so much because you put in so much effort for like 20 minutes.
For any of you, oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
But yeah, that's the thrill of the game, like just to get that, like go all the way, and there's no quick turnover. There's no like, oh, I'll play the next level. It's like everyone's unique. Everyone's its own experience.
Yeah, 100%. And they, for anyone that's just tuning in or whatever, it's the Call of Duty Battle Royale. So there's Fortnite, which is obviously super popular. There's PUBG, and there's a few other ones out there. The reason why we like this one so much is because we're not really Call of Duty players, but we like Blackout because it's fast-paced. It's 60 frames a second. I think that's the main thing. I know that PUBG on the other consoles runs a bit slow. And then also, not everyone likes the graphic style of Fortnite, so it's a bit cartoony. So this is a more realistic one. And they just pulled it off really well. The map's big. There's a variety of things to do. But yeah, the reason why I guess I'm bringing this up is that I logged in because Paul and I were playing, and a couple of our mates were playing as well. And I logged in, and I noticed that Paul was like an incredible, like triple the level I was. And I wasn't playing it crazy, but I I was playing it, I don't know, like 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day or something. But then, yeah, Paul was like triple my level. And I guess that's due to you being quite good, and I guess you were getting some chicken dinners there and stuff and winning. But I was like, holy hell! Like he does have an addictive personality. Because at the same time, Red Dead was out around the same time, and Paul was like, no, I'm not watching this. I'm not buying this, because that one would have sucked you in as well, wouldn't it?
That'd be the end of my life. I wouldn't have even moved. I would have forgotten about it.
I think you actually said that to me. I think you actually said that's the end of my life, and I was kind of like laughing. But then you would just say dead face. You were just like, no, I can't do it.
Can't do it. Because everyone's like, oh, if you get it, there's like you can take care of your weapons, and you have to take care of your horse. Not that you would, because horses are stupid, and you have to take care of like your clothes. And I think you were telling me that somebody else had told you that if you don't have a bath or whatever for like a few days in the game, you start to get grimy and your skin gets dirty and stuff. I'm like, that's so bad. I'd be taking better care of the character than I would of myself. I'd be sitting there in my own filth with like a 4-day-old beard, but like, I better go have a bath before I get my gun cleaned.
You know that there's people out there taking better care of their horses than they are themselves. You know?
Yeah,
it's just like
Their pets are just walking around the house malnourished, like, God, feed me, feed me. It's like, shut up, shut up. Trixie needs a new set of hooves.
And surprise, surprise, that game got an update and got Battle Royale as well, in a smaller scale, but you still kind of have a western town to kind of run around, and there's a circle that kind of shrinks in as well. I've not played it, but I've heard the online's pretty good as well.
Yeah, I know they had like a not a Call of Duty thing, but they had like two teams fighting each other in the middle of one of the areas in the previous game. So I'm not surprised they have it in the new one. And they had a zombie mode too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then just lastly, just going back to the Call of Duty one, because I found this hilarious. So like you were good at the game, and I think you're used to the controller on a console, whereas I've come from PC, and I'm actually pretty good with the controller now. Like I've had the PlayStation and played it for about a year. But I remember logging in to play some games, and we were doing like team games with the other guys or other friends, and it would be like, if you die, I remember you thinking like, why the fuck did you die so soon, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like, because you had trained up so well, and you were like, you guys need to practice, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking like, shit, we need to get better at this, you know. But yeah, logging into player view, it's just like, shit, we need to keep up with Paul's standards, you know.
But also, I didn't appreciate, for you have this weird mix where you've got a lot of skill in the game, so you'll do something that's very clever because you've played it on the PC and you'll know all these little trickeries. Like I remember the time when you jumped off a building, fell down behind two other guys and killed them both stone dead. Like took out the squad.
Was good. Yeah.
And then there was another point I remember where you have the flip side showcased because you don't know how to use a fucking controller that well. So you'd be standing 4 feet in front of a guy and you'll shoot around him in a silhouette like Looney Tunes. Like
I
up
would
and
make
around.
a silhouette, yeah.
Yeah. And you just know the guy on the other end of that is like, how am I not dead? I didn't even know that guy was there.
And every now and again that would happen, and then Paul would be like, did you get him, kind of thing, because maybe you were off doing something else, and I'm like, no, I missed, mate. He was a bit too far away, and you must have been thinking like, he was right in front of you. Like,
I saw him.
You know?
I could count the hairs on his mustache. He moved too fast. He must have cheated. He must have modded the game.
But it is a great game, and it still is, because they're still updating it as well. This is another thing I like about it, is Fortnite do an incredible job of updating their map, and they keep like these episodes. Like it's on like season 8 now. They call them seasons, sorry. And season 8 is like pirate themed or something. But Blackout could do better with that. They could update it a little bit more. But I know since we've like played the game at launch, there's a cruise ship or a little boat kind of thing, yachts, which is supposed to be kind of cool. And now they've just done a new one, which is a lot bigger, and it's Ghost Town, so it's an old map from Call of Duty, and it's like a Western themed map in that kind of desert area. And then there's also an entire underground with a city underground as well, with lots of houses. Really, really cool. And there's like a massive gaping hole in the rock, so when you parachute down, you can just parachute straight down into like a cavern. So they've done a good job there. They just need to kind of keep that stuff coming, I'd say, every month or every other month. But it freshens it up, so it's cool.
Yeah. Like, I don't think you played it. You were busy, but they did introduce a new game style as well. But I don't know if they've made it permanent fixture, which they should. They had one version where they took out every gun except for shotguns and pistols. So there was no snipers, no assault rifles. It was all close range. And then they had it's kind of like a faster paced version where the circle gets smaller, faster and faster. But what happens is you can revive. If somebody dies on your squad, they'll come back in the next circle. So you actually have kind of lives.
Oh, yeah.
So as long as there's one person on your team alive, the rest of them will parachute in on the next circle change.
That's super cool. I really like that, actually.
Yeah. But I don't know if that circle one's still on because I haven't played it since it came out. And then the shotgun one was only for like a weekend, and then they got rid of it. So I don't know if they're going to introduce this as something that has to happen along the way. And then I remember when it first came out, you were mentioning they should bring in like weather changes and time of day changes and all that. But
There was a during the last trailer to the new map update they did. At the end of the trailer for it, it kind of flashed in, and it looked like Alcatraz, which would be something it would be a new level out at sea, which is an old map, whatever. But it was at nighttime, so some people are thinking maybe they've worked it out. I don't know if it's just that you land on the map and it's nighttime the whole time, or whether it's actually a cycle, but I know it's something they're looking to do, and like maybe even rain, because rain in PUBG was quite cool, because when it was coming down hard, you couldn't hear footsteps, which I thought was pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah, that would make it interesting. Yeah, I noticed they're putting in new things. They're putting in like new vehicles every now and again and different weapons, but
yeah,
I think the bigger scale changes is kind of what Fortnite's known for. Like you said, there's like a whole theme that will change, and that's kind of what brings you back, like if you want to play it over and over.
Yeah, and like Battle Royale, it was last year's theme of games, like trending thing, and I think it's going to flow into 2019 for sure, because like I said, Battlefield's going to get a Battle Royale this month, and I did get a chance to play Battlefield 5, like now that it's out, and I have to say, I'd still prefer Blackout and the Call of Duty kind of feel, but there's one thing that Battlefield have always had is they've got that immersion. Like, it's really got very, very good sound design, and the graphics obviously are like incredible. The graphics are like twice as good, but it doesn't have the quite. It feels a little sluggish, like to jump over something and to turn around. Whereas Call of Duty is very snappy. But I'd still give Battlefield 5 a shot if you have a chance or whatever. It really, really captures that World War feeling, and we'll see what that Battle Royale's like as well.
Yeah, I haven't kept track with too many games since I've moved or anything, because I know I'll have a problem, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. I've already got way too much other stuff to do, too many movies, too many TV shows.
Of course. While we're on the topic of Battle Royale, just quickly, I need to mention two other things. The big one, which a lot of gamers will be looking at, is Apex Legends. So Apex Legends is done by the guys that did Titanfall. It's EA, but Apex Legends is a free-to-play Battle Royale game, but you have to play in groups. I don't know if you've heard about this, by the way. You heard about this?
No, I haven't heard this. Apex?
Okay, this one's Apex Legends. So it's free on the Xbox Store or the PlayStation Store. You can download it right now. And it's done by, the Titanfall guys, like I said. So it's got a really good studio behind it. The trick with this one is you pick a legend, a little bit like... I'm just trying to think of it. Well, basically, you pick a guy and he has his own abilities. So maybe like he could triple jump in the air, and then maybe he has a shield. And then you pick someone else, and maybe he's like the grunt, and he's got like a more powerful shield, but he moves slower but does more damage, kind of thing like that. It's a first person kind of game, but the cool thing is, you play in groups, so you can only play in threes, so it will pair you up with people. But they have some really cool little systems, like when you parachute down, because it's kind of a futuristic style one. When you parachute down, you'll parachute down together, but in like these jetpacks. But you'll like stay together. It's like locked in together. So one guy in the group chooses where to go, and then the other two are like locked to him. You can kind of move away if you want, but it's kind of cool to see three people come down at the same time. And then they have a similar system to the one you just mentioned in Blackout. If the guy dies, your friend dies, you can actually pick up like almost his data chip, and then if you get to a certain area, you can revive him, and then like basically bring him back. So you can bring your teammates back. And then again, the circle comes in and all that. Quite a cool looking map. You can slide along and stuff. But again, it feels really good. Like Call of Duty has always had that really slick feel, and this one's got a similar one. So people are really liking it. And then the last thing they've got, which is cool, is they call it like a ping system. So when you play with two other rants, say if you don't know the other people, sure, you can use voice. That's the best way of doing it. But there's a lot of people out there that don't like to just talk to randoms on the mic. So they got this ping system. So like I can't remember what buttons it is, but you can basically like hold R2 or L2 and you can just bring up an object, whatever you're looking at, and you can easily say that's an enemy, or that's some armor that you should go to, or this is where we should go to. It's very easy to do it with the top buttons. So you just ping. So people just will ping like enemy there, I'm going here, and there's a shotgun there, and within like a few seconds, you can just ping those 3 things. So yeah, kind of cool. You don't have to get on the mic and talk to people, and it's good teamwork.
Although I will say that if you don't have a mic, the chances of you winning a game are pretty slim in a team battle.
They're going to be pretty slim, and also they come with every PlayStation, every Xbox. So just get talking.
There is one game I do know it's coming out this year. I don't know how. I think I saw a trailer. Oh, I did. Yeah. I saw a teaser. It was Scorpion or Sub-Zero or something. So it's Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
There's a new Mortal Kombat coming out. I don't know if you care about that because you like Tekken. You're a Tekken head.
I do like Tekken. Tekken actually just yesterday brought out Negan as well.
Really?
Yeah, Negan, and they got a Negan level where it's all in the I want to say car park, but in the forest. Basically, that brutal scene where they beat Glenn and all that lot. That's like his level. That's his level. But yeah, it's kind of funny. But Mortal Kombat does look incredible. I saw John. I don't know if you saw it, but Johnny Cage and his fatality.
No, I didn't see that.
You'll probably like this. So because he's like a movie star, Hollywood. His fatality is he uppercuts the guy, but then someone walks in front of camera after he does it. So he brutally uppercuts him, just kind of like dislodges his neck, whatever. And then someone comes on camera and goes, cut, cut, cut. Nah, that wasn't good. We need to do that again and whatever. And then they go again. And then he uppercuts the guy again. And they're like, cut, cut. All right, harder, in the face. So, like, you see him uppercut the guy, like, 4 or 5 times. And then eventually he does, and he just, like, smashes the guy's head off. And then someone throws him an Oscar. so I thought that was a pretty cool, like, little fatality. But the last thing I just want to mention on Battle Royale, I don't think you'll know about this. Did you know they brought out Tetris Battle Royale?
Tetris? So, no, I did not.
Yeah, it's only on a Switch. I haven't got a Switch, but Switch. Got to get that in there. But yeah, they brought out Battle Royale Tetris, and what you do is you play, and in the background, in a small grid kind of behind, you can see 99 other players playing. And there's some, I don't know all the kind of the rules, but there's a way of kind of targeting some of those people and say, when I get my blocks down and get enough points, I want to, dump them all on this person or something like that. But I thought it was kind of fun. Like the classic Tetris that came out with the Game Boy, I don't know how long ago that was. They're still improving it, and it's actually supposed to be quite a fun game. It's not just like a shitty little mod or something. It's a full-on game what you can buy, and it's rated quite well.
Ah, well, good old Tetris. It's never going to die.
But
everybody's got it. I'm waiting for them to make like sports game battle royales now. Just football games. Sure everyone just kills each other. 99 players on a field.
Bloody FIFA and stuff. They'll work it out, I'm sure.
It's the new trend, so everyone's got to do it. That's how it works.
It is indeed. But so we'll keep you guys up to date with gaming and stuff. I think what would be your next game on your list? I know you don't follow it as much as I do, but what would be? Was maybe Mortal Kombat or?
Yeah, I need something that's not too addictive heavy.
Yeah, well, that's why I like those games. You kind of pick up and play. I've always liked Tekken and stuff. You just 10 minutes, have a little session. There's a lot of those times with those games, I think it's called Survival, and you just basically have 1 bar of energy and see how many people you can beat.
Right.
Which is fun, and it's like 10-minute game. It's like, I beat 22 people, I'm on the leaderboard or whatever. So, I think my next one is. I did get Spider-Man at Christmas, but I haven't played it yet, so I'll have to.
Another up-to-date Rant Bollox review there. I've got it. I haven't played it.
Yeah, got it at Christmas. That was a while ago, but we'll keep you up to date with that. And over the next year, we're going to be hearing a lot about Xbox 2 and PlayStation 5 as well. So that will be exciting times. So,
do you know they're remaking Resident Evil? Resident Evil 2. Sorry.
That was actually on my list. I wasn't sure if I was going to mention it, but now you just have. Did you used to play that game on?
Oh yeah, I play that all the time. It was so good.
Yeah, there is the reason why I wrote this down is, first of all, the remake is supposed to be excellent. So anyone out there thinking, should I get it or not? Like, it's supposed to be excellent. They've done a really good job of it. But do you remember the big, really brutal guys? I think they're called X something. Like, what were their names? Like, it was called X something. But the guy's in a big trench coat and he's just like running towards you.
Oh
And
yeah, like big bald things that were kind of like half
really fucking
zombie,
hard.
half robot kind of thing.
Really fucking hard to kill, but they're called like X whatever it is. So someone on this is the joys of PC. Someone modded it so that whenever you see him, that guy, because it's like you're always kind of running away. Someone modded it so it plays DMX XCon's gonna give it to you. So that's kind of funny. So like the song just starts, but the cool thing they've even done it is like when you close the door, the song goes a bit silent. You know what I mean? And then the guy will obviously smash through the door, and then the song starts again. So that's pretty.
Just keep opening and closing the door.
Basically, there's a video online that's funny, and then I just like a couple of hours before we started this podcast, someone modded it so it's fucking Thomas the Tank Engine. So, but the actual person is the Thomas the Tank Engine now, and I think it's got the music as well. So this creature that you're running away from is now Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm like, what are people doing? You know, like they've got too much time on their hands.
I only heard about the Resident Evil 2 remake because I've heard the rumors of a Resident Evil TV show.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, apparently Netflix have the rights.
Okay. Good old Netflix, picking everything up.
Yeah, I guess they just want their own Walking Dead.
Yeah, which is pretty much gone down the hill now, I guess. I don't know if we're doing spoilers or whatever. I don't watch it anymore, but I've heard that Rick's out of it now as well.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't watch it, so we can't even spoil it. We don't know what's happening.
We can't. Yeah, how can we spoil something we don't watch?
As far as I know, Rick, I don't think he's even dead, but the actor is finished, and now they've kind of like time jumped ahead a few years.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah, they had like a time jump to make a few of the characters older and kind of change the setup.
Okay. Is Daryl still in it?
Yeah, he's still in. Norman Reedus is still in it.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I heard when Rick went, it was like a big explosion. So it's more of one of those things where, yeah, he survived. He floated off into the lake or whatever, you know. So
yeah, one of those ones, the classics.
Yeah. I did hear like a possible rumor of a movie, but I don't know.
No. Well, they've got to be kind of wrapping that thing up at this point.
Yeah. What season is that? Like 8 or 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just gone to the point where it's on, and I know there's people that love it, and if they love it, they love it. But it's kind of like I don't think it has any. I don't think it's pulling any new viewers in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's kind of like the fans that were there from the start are going to stay there. I don't think the ratings are going to start upturning at any point.
Yeah.
Because I've mentioned this before. It's like it's a show that doesn't have any underlying question to it. Like there's nothing that you're waiting for it to answer or solve, whereas the counterpoint would be Game of Thrones, where everyone's like, what's going to happen, who's going to win, who's going to be the king or queen.
Yeah And I think the Walking Dead comic books are just continuous, like endless kind of thing, aren't they?
Yeah, like they were designed for that reason, to be endless, to be like, what would the world be like if there was no the end at the end of it?
Of course, yeah.
But the comics can do things that the TV show. No.
Exactly, yeah. What's what have you been watching, I guess TV wise and stuff? Has anything struck you?
TV, I'm kind of like picking in and out of a few Netflix shows. I've been watching the new season of, the second season of Fargo. I'm trying to get to the third season. And that's great. Yep. But I'm also midway through The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, yeah. That got a second season as well.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah.
No, but it's a good show. It's like, it's patient. And the thing about it for me was I've read the book. And I thought, okay, you read the book, and they've made movies about it, and the movies are kind of based on the book. And, okay, this character will be in it, and that character will be in it. But the first episode, everything changes. It's not at all like the book in terms of how the story plays out, but it's in a really good way. So like by the end of the first episode, if you've read the book, you're like, okay, I really want to know what they're going to do with this, because they're going in a completely new direction.
Okay, yeah.
But it still feels like it's got the core story in there, and it has like
Brilliant,
a lot of the references will be there that you're like, okay, that's there, and obviously Hill House, the mansion, is there, and the haunted stuff that happens in it is still kind of similar, but the characters are a lot different, and it's like, okay, this is interesting for me because there's enough of me invested in this new stuff that I like it, but it doesn't seem like it's completely different than the book, that it's shitting on the book, but it's not exactly like the book, so I'm not going to know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how many episodes is it?
It's 10. It's the usual Netflix run, so I'm
Okay,
on
that's
like
great.
episode 5. Yeah, I'm about halfway through it exactly.
Yeah, they release them all at once, so you can binge it if you wanted to.
Oh, I know. It's getting dangerous. I'm starting to wean myself off that kind of thing.
I haven't binged a show for a while. The last one I binged a little bit was Designated Survivor with Keith Sutherland.
Right. That's the Kiefer Sutherland, wasn't it?
Yeah. I watched like, when I say binged, I did like 7 in a row. I haven't done 7 in a row for a while or something, but it was like on a Saturday. That one I enjoyed, but it kind of went downhill a little bit towards the end of season 1. But
yeah.
But yeah, like Netflix are doing a great job of picking up some great, like they're picking up all the Marvels, like Infinity War is on there, and it was on there quite soon after, and a lot of big films and stuff. But I think this year is going to be a difficult year for them because Apple's new one's going to be announced. So Apple's TV service is going to be announced at the end of this month. And then, did you hear about BBC and ITV are going to come out with BritBox as well?
Well, they've also, like you said, they got all the Marvel ones popping up, like the new Avengers and new Ant-Man's there, and they'll probably have the new Captain Marvel soon. But that's also because they have to make as much money on that as possible.
You mean because Disney, as well, or
because is it this? Yeah, it's this year, 2019. Marvel are going to. Well, Marvel's already owned by Disney, and Disney are starting their own service, and then Disney are going to take all. Because they cancelled Iron Fist, and they cancelled Punisher and Jessica Jones.
I know, yeah.
And I think Daredevil's. It's basically officially cancelled.
Yeah, I heard that as well. Yeah.
So that means that obviously, there might be. I think they might be in the middle of the season of shooting a season of Luke Cage, but I don't know. They'd already done 2 seasons of him, so
yeah.
But it's kind of like, we're not putting any money into your shows because you're just going to take all your shows and put them onto your network.
100%, yeah. You've got that, and then you've got the Apple, and then you've got possibly a BritBox one as well. So it's going to be big competition for them. And then, did you finally get HBO, by the way?
I did finally get HBO. 2 days ago, I got it.
It took you moving to Vancouver
I had to buy a damn TV with a stupid cable, and I had to get a subscription package, and I have to pay for it every month to get stupid all these 500 channels I don't want, and like the 4 channels I do.
I know, yeah. But you know what? You'll watch Game of Thrones on the day in HD. You won't have to torrent it or whatever.
Yeah, it's like it's also that place where I'm like, I don't mind paying for this. I will pay you the money for this. Let me pay you the money to watch this.
Yeah.
That being said, cable subscriptions are really expensive, and I don't blame anybody for not paying the amount of money that I have to pay.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, like how much. Like they try and bundle it in with like what the telephone and internet now, at least. So.
Yeah, I think it's like $100 a month.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, but that's like for the. Like, I'm not bragging, but that's like for the full package. I got like the bloody PVR and the 4K and all that. I'm just like, fine. Nice. I'm going to get it. Just give me the whole damn thing.
Yeah. Get it done properly.
Yeah. And it's also for that, like I said, when someone comes up and goes, have you seen such and such? Have you seen this show? I'm like, I'll find it. I'll go and find it. I have no excuse. I have no excuse now. Like, I can't be like, oh, I haven't seen that show. Because everyone's like, well, that's your job. It'd be like somebody saying to you, "Oh, have you seen the new Budweiser commercial?" And you're like, "Nah, I'm not interested." It's like,
it's okay.
Well, Molson are probably going to be interested in what Budweiser are doing.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. And also, it'd be nice to have your channel as well, that your TV show's on as well.
Yeah, I've got that now, so at least I can watch my own show.
Just to make sure it's being aired, yeah.
Yeah. But it's also it's like, I got my DVDs and I got Netflix, and then I have have like regular TV now, you know, and then there's, like I said, there's video games, and it's just as somebody who's just trying to consume it, and I know it's like a really fucking first world problem of like, oh, I have to watch so much stuff.
Yeah,
But just
yeah,
like as somebody who has to like watch all these stuff, and there's like great movies, there's great TV, there's great box sets, there's AMC, there's HBO. I just have to watch it. Like I don't even have to make it. And that,
yeah,
but it's like going to your point of like what Netflix are all about and how, oh, Netflix makes so much money. They don't have any competition. It's like they do. Everybody is trying to make the next big thing. And
yeah,
we're in this era where there are, at least right now, you could pick 5 shows that you could spend watching tomorrow, binging.
yeah.
Like you'd watch for the rest of the week, you just watch 5 brand new shows and you'd pick 5 brand new ones the week after. And there'd be like 6 or 7 seasons of each of them. And,
Yep.
you know, you'd have to catch up on all of them. And you realize that it's those 5 shows are all made by 5 different networks or 5 different broadcasters.
Well, it's
So
like
there's
it's
no-
a little bit like it's a little bit like the App Store, you know, like where, you know, an app used to come out, like this is years ago, and then people would download it and know about it, but now it's so saturated. And it's the same thing with TV shows and movies. It's so, like you go onto Netflix and you're almost lost. Like you have to have a good navigation to kind of, or a recommend system because you watch this or because your mates watch that. Because otherwise, you know, how can you get your TV show recognized, you know?
Yeah, because it doesn't even work like it used to work in the 80s when we were kids. And it's like the new Schwarzenegger movies coming out. It's like, well, that's the name. Everybody knows the name. That's going to get everybody's bums in the seats. But nowadays,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, Schwarzenegger has a movie and Stallone has a movie and you've never heard of it. And it's probably in the back end of Netflix somewhere.
You're right. You're right.
So you can't even be a star. Like there's no stars out there. There's probably maybe 5 people left in Hollywood who on their own could get a movie made into the cinemas and everyone would go and watch it.
Yeah.
And that's not like that they wouldn't do TV. It's just, if you look at shows like on HBO or on Netflix, you've got like big movie directors, like David Fincher's doing stuff on there. You've got big movie producers on there. You've got big actors like Will Smith's done a movie on there, Joel Edgerton. Like everybody is moving back and forth. There's very few people that are still good enough on their own to always bring out a blockbuster. I think maybe the only person that springs to mind right now is probably Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like Tom Cruise is the only, maybe Tom Hanks. The 2 Toms, Tom Cruise and Tom Hanks, are like they're guys that it's not that they wouldn't do TV, but they're a big enough name that they can always get a movie made, like a big Hollywood movie made.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But if you look at like all these other guys, they're just like, it's not that they're not big or they're not famous, but Tom Hardy's worked in TV, he's worked in movies, he's worked in TV again, he's worked in movies. They all go back and forth. And then there's other actors who are good actors, but they don't have that box office appeal that you want to go see them. Like,
Yeah.
Christian Bale's like a big name actor. He always does big movies, but even though he's Batman, I don't think he could sell a movie on his own.
No, I don't think so.
Not
no.
to the general audiences, you know. It wouldn't be somebody that you're like, oh, I want to go see Christian Bale, because he's not that kind of actor that people are like, oh, I want to see him. He's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
But what I'm getting to is, yeah, just trying to get through all the stuff makes you realize how much good stuff is out there and how competitive the market is to get eyes on a program.
Yeah.
Like to lock somebody down for an hour or for a binge, that's a lot of effort.
It's the attention span as well. Like again, going back to like social media, you know, it's less than 6 seconds these days. It's like when you're scrolling through Facebook, it's called like thumb stopping work or whatever, because you're scrolling through and suddenly you stop and you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of fun. I know Netflix is slightly different, but still, you need to get people in, and then once you've done that with episode 1 or 2, you need to keep them entertained. Like with Designated Survivor, like I mentioned, I binged that because I was loving it. I'm a 24 fan, even though it's not that 24-esque, but I like Keith Sutherland. But yeah, awesome. And it had a good kind of first 10 of them were great, but it definitely started to drop off, and then it lost me. It lost my wife, and
But
then,
that was
and then I,
that,
you know,
who was that? CTV or was that an American channel that made that?
it was, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I do know they got a season 2, but it definitely, for me, I didn't even make it to the end of season 1. Because, like, a couple of things. But again, at the same time, like you mentioned, there were other things that we were watching as well, and they took priority. So it's just like, oh, do you want to watch this? It's like, there's nothing else, so we might as well bang it on in the background, you know. But I don't know. Do you really want to be that? I got a TV show out. It's the one that people put on in the background while they're having their dinner, or, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you want it to be like, oh, it's the one. I mean, basically, it's the one everyone's going to be talking about in the next couple of months is Game of Thrones. I mean, I'm doing a poll at work, or like a little put money in basically, and then it's who dies, who becomes White Walker, and then who lives, kind of thing. But the fact that I'm doing all of that just for a TV show, 6 episodes, you know, it's like, that's got
and then
everyone's attention.
What is it? They're already starting to make a prequel as well, so they can make more money on it because they know they can't do anything after this.
Yeah, that's a little bit sad, but I don't like. It doesn't surprise me that they're doing that.
No, like I think everybody wants this to be a good finale, but there's definitely going to be a huge audience who are going to be like, oh, I want to see more. I want to know what happened in the old days and all this.
Yeah, it's also one of those things where I'm not sure why I'm relating it back to these two, but no one's going to be happy with however this ends. And I kind of put it,
no.
I bring it back. I bring it back to 2 things. Lost was a big one, and no one liked how that ended. And also Matrix, I feel like people hate. There was always arguments on those 2, and I think this is going to be exactly the same. No one's going to be like, oh, I didn't see that coming, and I actually really enjoyed that, you know. So, and I don't know. That's some crazy pressure they must have to please everyone.
Yeah, I think in the TV world, this is probably the biggest TV event that I've seen.
Yeah, do you think so? Because Breaking Bad was. I didn't watch Breaking Bad live. I was on that like 2 years after it. But I know Breaking Bad was a huge one. I know The Sopranos was huge.
But what I'm thinking is more in terms of closure.
Yeah, okay.
Because like with Breaking Bad and Sopranos, they're very much character studies and what's happening to these people, and it's kind of like, oh, this will be the final episode is going to happen here, and you're like, you just want to see how it ends, and like it's going to end, and you're going to be there and you're going to watch it. Whereas with Game of Thrones, there seems to be a little bit more of like, we have to know what happens.
Yeah, no,
we need the answers to that question. Whereas with Sopranos or Breaking Bad, not that it could have gone anyway, but like there was no wrong or right way for that to go. Because it was always going to have to be truthful to whatever Walter White was going through or whatever Tony was going through. And then like I'm going back through my like all the shows that we used to watch growing up, like Star Trek: The Next Generation, or you know, you go back as far as MASH, or you go back to like these really popular shows when the last episode, everybody tuned in for the last episode. But it seemed more like it was kind of like they just wanted to be there for it.
Yeah, okay.
And with Game of Thrones, it's actually the story is driving people forward. Like it's not like, oh, it's coming to an end, I might as well watch. It's like, I have to know how this is ending.
It's also another show where just watch it on the day it airs. Don't, because otherwise it's going to get spoiled. Like I remember last season it got spoiled with YouTube. I just went to YouTube and the thumbnails on YouTube would just take my whole front row or front page of YouTube was taken over by the thumbnails because the episodes had been out. So it's one of those ones where you need to watch it the day of, otherwise you're in a lot of trouble. Like there's no, sure you can stay off social media, but there's just going to be, it'll be in newspapers, it'll be everywhere.
There'll be some twat on the bus being like, I can't believe Drogo ate the king. Like,
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So.
And it's also a thing with me is that my missus has never watched a single episode, And I told him,
Oh,
like,
did you say that you're going to do that? Did you say you're going to go through them, or she's not interested?
I'm gonna try to, but even if she doesn't want to, I told her I'm watching it, so
Yeah.
you can sit there and have no idea what's going on, but I have to watch. She's like, why don't you just watch it the next day? I'm like, I can't watch it the next day because I'm just gonna hear about it 20 minutes after on my Facebook feed.
And we need to talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah, we're
So-
like, it comes out on Sunday, so if we time
Yeah.
it properly, we can be talking about it right after.
That's true, actually, because there is a way. It comes out last time. It came out in HBO Nordic first, which was like 2 hours before North America. So there might be a way of doing it that way. I don't know, whatever. But we'll chat about it for sure.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm just excited because it's got a good feeling building up towards like no one's going to be happy.
No,
But it's still got this. It's gone to the spearhead. It's the tip of the spear. It's like we finally reached the end of the damn story. And I don't think they're gonna wrap up everything. I don't think everything's gonna have a neat ending because there's too much shit and too many subplots and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's just like who's gonna win, and I don't think anybody's gonna win. Everyone's gonna die. It's gonna be great.
I do feel like it's going to be very close to that. Like I said, I got this sheet at work that I'm working on, and it's like it must have about 20 names of like all the big characters that are still in it, and then you have to just put a tick next to is he going to die, live, or White Walker? And I'm like, man, I think most of this sheet is just going to be dead. So like maybe 2 people out of those 20 might be still alive. The rest of them all dead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically, you could say there are White Walkers, and then maybe they die after. I don't know, but yeah, it's exciting. When is it? Is it April the 14th?
Yeah, it's April next month. Yeah.
I get confused because obviously next month is also bloody Infinity War Endgame.
Yeah, which is something I was gonna mention earlier. It's like the Captain Marvel movie's coming out this week. Yeah, this weekend.
It is. Yeah.
And it's not that I don't like it. I don't have a problem with Brie Larson. I don't have a problem with any of that shit that people are complaining about. It's just a movie.
Yeah.
But I'm not interested in it because I want to know what the hell's happening with Infinity War. I'm so much more invested in that story that I like. This is just a distraction. Like it can be a great movie. It could be the next best superhero movie ever. But it's like there's such a bigger, better story just waiting around the corner that I just can't get excited about this film. I'm like, I don't care.
I am 100% the same because I remember this time last year it was Black Panther, then it was Infinity War, and I remember I was excited about Black Panther, but with this one, the only thing I was kind of looking forward to, and I am going to go see it on Sunday, by the way, so I'm sure you'll see it, so we'll talk about it at some point. But the one thing I was looking forward to seeing out of the whole film is like, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the ending because I know at the end it's going to be what's your face's calling her, and then you'll probably, or maybe like something happens.
Oh
with
yeah,
her,
the beeper thing.
Anyway, whatever happens at the end, it's going to be showing what's going to happen in Endgame, and I'm like, I'm going to this movie just to see that. But then, literally 2-3 weeks later, you're going to see Endgame anyway, so that even defeats the purpose of that. Like, I think they should have put those films a little bit further apart. Maybe this one should have come out in like January or something. But
but then they had Ant-Man 2 came out. Like, how many people were excited for that?
Ant-Man as well,
that has an that has an Infinity War tag at the credits. Spoiler alert.
Quite a decent one. Yeah, quite a decent one
Yeah.
as well. But another thing about like it's interesting the universe and like what's happened with Thanos and stuff. Like it's so tricky when they do all these movies. But you know that new Spider-Man trailer? So it was A Long Way from Home or whatever.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it. Yeah.
Well, I was confused, and a lot of people are asking me and saying like, well, when is that set? And I got told that that's actually set after Endgame. So
yeah, that's what I've heard.
I know that Spider-Man's still alive. I know that Black Panther's still alive because they've only just introduced those characters, so they've got to come back. But I found it weird watching a trailer for something where in my universe that I'm, in the universe that we're watching right now, he's dead or he's gone.
Yeah.
You know, I found that really weird. So
it is a weird one. That's why I didn't watch it because I don't want any spoilers for it. And I didn't want to watch it because, like you said, it's just be annoying. I'm like, Spider-Man's dead. Spoiler alert. I don't know why we say that. Everyone listening to us has watched all this shit. He dies at the end of Infinity War, and it's probably the most moving death in the whole film.
Yeah.
Because he's the kid, and he's like, he gets this extra moment to just be afraid and ask for help and all this. And it's, oh yeah, he's got a movie coming out. And it's like, what? What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. I was just like, it's kind of, it's very odd.
So
at the same time, it's like it's hard
on the
for
one
them to
hand,
control all that.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard for them to not sell the films, and then, but it's like, are they really going to lose that much money if they bring that trailer out 2 months down the line?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Even well, actually, I wouldn't bring it out during Endgame, but yeah, just a month after Endgame, just to show them like. Yeah, just it's a weird thing to watch, but
and it's also the thing that bugs me about that. To interrupt is that with with Infinity War, like that's probably the best ending to a big movie I've seen, and I can't even name the last time something like that big happened. Everyone says like Empire Strikes Back or whatever, but I'm like,
sure.
The end of Infinity War is a miserable, shitty ending.
It really
where
is, yeah.
All these heroes are dead, and the bad guy, if you call him that, he wins, and that's it. There's no like to be continued or like happy music. It just goes to black, done. And there's there must be a bunch of crying kids. And I told you before, I loved being in the cinema when it was just that happened. I watched it twice, and then the second time that happens, and just listening to everyone just sitting in the silence, being like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I know, yeah.
It's great. But Marvel put so much effort into making that movie, making all these characters come together, and then they tried to make sure that it was this ending that nobody expected. And they did it all so well that they edited their trailers. They put extra CG into their trailers so people wouldn't know what's coming. And then the actual movie itself didn't get shown completely until the premiere.
Yeah.
So like couldn't be any spoilers, there couldn't be any leaks or whatever. And it's like you put all that effort in, and then you're just like, there's a Spider-Man 2 movie coming out before the second part.
I know.
You're like, why would you do that? Like, how much money are you gonna not make by having a trailer come out a couple of months down the line?
And as small as it sounds, is like we know that like Spider-Man's all right, but there are a bunch of people that are just like, oh well, I guess he comes back then,
Yeah.
So, but then also there's a bunch of people that also think that trailer is before Infinity War as well.
Yeah, because they make that very clear in the Captain Marvel movie trailer that it's clearly earlier, because we've got blockbuster movies and we've got Nick Fury, but Nick Fury has 2 eyes, so this is in the past. So. Yeah, I think with the Spider-Man one, people are probably thinking the same thing, but that doesn't make any sense. Like, once you spend 5 seconds thinking about it.
Yeah, and it's the one thing. Well, I mean, the film's got a lot going for it, but is like it's funny that we've got Game of Thrones in April, which we were just talking about, and it's super exciting. We want to get that closure, but it's the exact same thing as happening in a movie. We want to get that closure in Endgame, but they just happen to be 2 weeks apart as well. So that's going to be a super popular month. Like both those things, if you were to say that they're being shown on the same day, but you can only see one, which one would you rather see? All of the Game of Thrones or Infinity War? And they were like, sorry, you can only see one, like before everyone else or whatever, is like a treat.
I'd have to be Infinity War.
I think it would do, but it would be very tough. It would be a very hard decision, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're more invested in Game of Thrones than me. At this point, Game of Thrones for me is sort of like, I just want to know. Like, I don't even care anymore. I just want to know.
The one thing for me, and it's just the way I've been watching them though, Infinity War is like, I could go to the cinema on my own and watch that. Game of Thrones, I actually enjoy watching it with my wife because some of the scenes and some of the things that happen, it's a good reaction thing. Because I remember, again, spoiler, but spoiler alert, but in the last season of Game of Thrones where the dragon got taken over and all that lot, I remember like just looking over at Leah and she's just like literally her jaw is dropped and she's just like, what the fuck is going on, you know? And I like those moments. Whereas in Infinity War, you know, when Captain America comes in and he from the darkness,
yeah.
he's just been on the beach. No, but when he walks in, like that's a cool moment. But like I'm just I'm keeping that to myself. Like in the cinema, like I like watching all of that stuff. Game of Thrones, it's nice to enjoy that with other people as well. But that's just me, just the way I've been watching them. But
the other thing is I haven't watched that Spider-Man trailer because I'm like, I'll get some clues for Infinity War or I won't. What did they do to wrap it up?
You analyze it. You analyze it quite in a lot of detail. But then you never know. Like Marvel might be super smart with what they're doing with that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because I guess you can maybe see like, oh, why has he got a limp or something? It's like, did that come from?
Well, that's
Endgame?
a good point too. Actually, you mentioned is that Spider-Man isn't completely Marvel. Spider-Man is Sony as well, so they're probably
that's right,
dickheads, and they said we're bringing our trailer out in February. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, you could be right. It could be like politics internally, and they're like, well, we need to promote it because Venom did so shit.
Didn't Venom make a bunch of money? I know you loved it. It's your new favorite film.
It made them some money. It made them enough to do a sequel at least. So that was such a strange film, Venom. Like I did watch it when I was ill. And like I can't say I'll watch it again or turn it on or anything, but but it had a comedy element to it, which I hadn't seen in like a Sony Marvel film. Because and you mentioned something about this. So the film was quite dark, but then I think it's rated PG-13, so you knew they couldn't go too dark. Like the actual Venom himself and the CG and everything was quite dark, but then. It's just whenever there was a fight scene or something happening, you just knew like, oh, they're holding back here. And then there was comedy in it as well. So like when Tom Hardy's just walking down the street, Venom will be talking to him because he's like, you know, in his body. And there was just some really weird scenes between them two, which I wasn't expecting. So I didn't think it was awful, but like I said, I'm not in any rush to watch it again. But it did have this really weird comedy element to it. But did you not mention something to do with like it switched directions like halfway through filming or something?
Yeah, it was to do with it came out, what was it, January? No, it came out last year.
No.
So it came out
yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the DVD came out in January. No, it came out last year in the summer, and it came out just after Deadpool 2 did.
Okay.
So it,
which
like
is
like
rated
Deadpool
R.
2 would come out and that done super successful again, and it's just sort of like, okay, we need to make it darker so that we can make it clear that it's not a total comedy because that's not going to work. And then the Tom Hardy, I think he signed on in part because he wanted something that wasn't going to be like a bad guy. He didn't want to be evil. He wanted to be Eddie Brock, who's kind of, you know, tries to be good, but he's an anti-hero, but he's not like, he's not Punisher levels of bad. He's kind of like Deadpool, where you're like, all right, this guy's a bit of an asshole, but I like him.
Yeah, and they kind of like that. They conveyed that. I guess they did do that, but it's just the PG-13. They should have made it like an R-rated or something, like a Deadpool, and gone all out and really like gruesome. Because like when I think of Venom, like I just think super fucking dark, evil enemy. But, they
like the director
that as much.
Is the guy who I'd say one of the film he's most famous for would be Zombieland.
Oh, okay.
You know, so he's. It's not that he's not a dramatic director, but he's more known for having that comedy element into his film. So like if you hire a guy like that to direct the movie, and yet you have Tom Hardy doing his kind of improvisation, you know, messing around, being goofy, like that's kind of the tone they want to set. And then Sony being Sony, it seems like they just turned in and said, let's have the Venom thing fight a bit more, but don't make it R-rated because we want to have the kids come in at PG-13.
That's exactly how I see it. Yeah.
Because Sony are just
the way it went down.
Idiots.
Are they? They're not in charge of X-Men, are they? Or are they?
No, it's 20th Century Fox.
Yeah, okay. I really, really think
Who
X-Men's all over the shop.
who looks like they're screwing up the next X-Men movie.
That looks just awful. So it's like Jean Grey, isn't it? She's just going psycho again, but in a younger form.
Yeah, they're just remaking X-Men 3. Looks like it.
Yeah, it bloody looks like it. That is the whole timeline for X-Men is completely screwed. I don't know where it is, but
you wouldn't even care. Like if the timelines doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like no one's tuning into a movie for timelines, but
no.
How can you keep making shitty movies?
Like the last one they had, I remember like Magneto was fighting some massive like god. So how can you go from like a god and then suddenly it's going back to like Jean Grey, which I know she's like super powerful, but I don't know. I almost see that as like a downgrade. But yeah, it's weird. Especially
because if the comics are to be followed, the way it works is that she becomes a hero. She becomes the good Phoenix and she saves the universe. And then she becomes the bad Phoenix. So it's like she does this really good thing and then she gets pulled around and becomes evil. Whereas now it's just like, oh, she's evil. I was like, what?
Yeah, they're just looking for some like crazy, bad guy, and then it's like, oh, she's from. People know her from Game of Thrones as well, so we can use that. Tick that box. So
it's a sad state of affairs. Everybody except Marvel doing Marvel movies usually ends badly.
Yeah. Hey, one DC film that I thought was pretty decent was Aquaman. By the way, now when I say decent, I mean visually. I'm looking forward to pulling that up in 4K in the TV, and I recommend you do it as well. Jason Momoa, he was pretty good. Like he pulled it off nicely. For me, it was better than obviously Batman versus Superman. Better than the Wonder Woman's for me as well. The story is just basic. It's basic story, like origin story kind of thing. But just visually. When they went to like Atlantis underwater and stuff, like it really captured me, and there was some cool little soundtracks here and there as well. But yeah, I would actually recommend seeing that, or at least wait and get it in 4K and watch it there.
Well, as one Twitter guy said, I can't wait for the next Justice League movie with the two biggest DC stars, Wonder Woman and Aquaman.
That's hilarious. And
so what's going to happen? Ben Affleck's gone and Henry Cavill's gone.
What the heck are they going to do?
And there's a new TV series out, Doom Patrol.
Okay,
Doom Patrol's like this C-list DC character group. But in that, they've got Cyborg, who was in the Justice League movie.
Oh, yeah.
And the Teen Titans, I think, had Cyborg. Might have been the same guy in it as well, like a crossover.
Yeah.
So you got that, and then the Flashverse, the Arrowverse, they've just introduced Batwoman, and there's a Batman in their universe now as well. And Superman's in that universe too. So it's like,
oh my god,
what have the movies got left? They can't do anything right anymore.
That's nuts.
Remember when there was supposed to be a Flash movie? Where's that? There's no fucking Flash movie.
No, I know. That's a mess. People growing up when they watch the trailers and stuff, and they're like, oh, they're there's going to be a Flash thing. There's going to be all these different heroes, and then they're going to make another Justice League. It's like, no, halfway through doing that, all the actors left. It's just, that's crazy. Henry Cavill's officially gone as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and what's he doing? The Witcher on Netflix.
Oh, that's right. I remember seeing the screenshot. It looked a little cheese balls, and I know usually game movies are as well.
Yeah, games are not good to do. Speaking of games, there is a game I just did finish. You mentioned it, I forgot to say it earlier. Uncharted 4. I just finished.
Ooh,
just this week.
What an incredible game!
Incredible game. But I'm playing like the last 2-3 level or chapters of that, and I'm just looking at it being like, no movie in the world could ever give you this scale or this like the set designs, the locations. You just can't compete with it. And
no, I know.
And I'm thinking, movies can do stuff that games can't do, just like comics can do things that radio can't do. Every medium's got its own advantages, but it's kind of why you can't really adapt books into movies all the time, and sometimes it falls apart. But
Sure.
I think with games, it really falls apart because it's very hard for a movie to add anything to a game that isn't already in the game.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, what does a movie add to a game that you don't already get in a video game?
Yeah. No. Yeah. I guess, and it's even just more interactive as well. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
basically just portraying that game again.
yeah.
You know,
It's
at another angle.
it's not that it's impossible, but I think like when you adapt, for example, I gave earlier the Haunting of Hill House. You're
Yeah.
adapting a book. What do? Do you just take everything in the book and just make actors say it and shoot it like the book was a screenplay? No, you
Mm.
take the ideas, you take the tone, and you take the story's foundation, and then you build your own thing on top of it. But with a
Yeah. Yeah.
video game, you've got the visuals, you've got music, you've got voices, you've got cutscenes, you've got a story, you've got a start, a middle, and an end, you've got the character's journey. Like, that's a movie, but
I
it's
know. Yeah.
interactive. So all you're
Yeah.
doing is taking out the interactive part and being like, isn't this good? Isn't this fun? It's like,
Yeah, you're
no,
completely right.
that's not
I
how
never
it
really
works.
thought about it that way. You're
Yeah.
completely right, especially when you're on the grand scale of Uncharted as well. The only way that it like possibly might work, and I just thought of this now, was I wonder if you could do like a Uncharted 4, and you could do a movie that kind of transitions to Uncharted 5 or something. So the movie, everything that's in that movie is new content or something, and it's a new story. So at least you're not just ripping off like Tomb Raider, just ripping off exactly what's happening.
Yeah,
But
like that's the main thing.
even
Is,
then, but that's a script thing and all that lot. But yeah, you are completely right. Especially again, Uncharted and the scale it's at. Like you said, you've got the actors already, you've got the visuals, you've got the script. So you're just remaking that in Hollywood.
like, there's definitely probably once every hour I'm playing or whatever that I would just stop and look around. It's like, holy crap, this is the world design and the graphics and the art direction that they did. And it's like, when you understand a little bit about the games, you don't even have to understand the games that much. Like, you're going through these giant mansions and you realize that somebody had to design that corner of the room that has nothing to do with the game. And somebody had to
Yeah.
design that painting on the wall and the textures for the wood that's falling down and stuff. And that
Yeah.
all has to be made and that all has to be created. And you're like, holy crap, this is so amazing.
Yeah, the artists
It's just,
that worked on that were just they went next level, that's for sure. And to think that they're working on stuff right now. Well, they're working on The Last of Us too, but some of them are probably working on next gen, which like it's just like it's going to start to blur the lines between film and games.
yeah. Like, if somebody was to sit me down and say, what do films do that games don't do? One of the first things that pops into my head is just that with a movie, you're being put in a situation where you don't get to control things. That's kind of the power of the movie. It can show
Sure.
you something. It can manipulate you. That's what movies are. The way they're edited, the way the music comes in. It's all designed to make you feel something. You have no choice but to feel exactly the way the director wants you to. Whereas with the video game, you're kind of in control. You get to move around. It's a little bit more interactive, like you said, but it's also more personalized. It's your adventure. You're playing it in your house.
Yeah, that's
And
that's the thing. Yeah.
I think you can't take a story that's told as a single person, you're experiencing it, and then turn that into a movie. You just have to take the character of Nathan Drake and just make a brand new story. Like, you
Yeah,
can't
100%.
you can't adapt like you said, Tomb Raider. You can't adapt Tomb Raider into being a movie because it's just not a good movie on its own.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think, and that's the whole thing. Like, you played through Uncharted. Now we played through the same game, but you definitely did it in a different way than I did. slower or faster pace, all that lot. Like you said, you stopped and gazed around. Whereas when we watch a movie, when we watch Game of Thrones or Endgame, the director is just like, I want everyone to feel this way, and everyone does. Whereas in Uncharted, you might have, like, you were in the jungle scenes and you might have just played that completely different to how I did. And a lot of games you can like do sneaking, or you can do like assassin kind of missions, and it completely changes the way you feel about that section or that game as well. So it's I mean the mediums are very different, but when you've got a game like Uncharted as well, it's like a friggin' movie as well. It's a bit of both, really, isn't it? Because like some of the cutscenes,
they're
you have to put the controller down.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing plays out, and that's a great example of how good that game is that when a cutscene happens, you don't immediately skip it. You just watch it because you're like, all right, I want to see what's going to happen here.
I mean, it's the acting, it's the motion capture, because I didn't play too much of Uncharted 2 and 3, and in this Uncharted 4, I like really kind of cared about his brother and all that lot, and I was like, oh shit, is his brother there, or what's going on,
Yeah.
So
well, that's a perfect example of what the game could do that a movie couldn't do. There's a whole sub game where you're playing as a young Nathan, and you're breaking into a house, and your brother's there, and there's this, like, you can explore different things, you can put on different hats, and it's this whole sub game that gives you all this background and all this character. And as you're playing it, it gives you this experience of like sneaking in and hanging out with your brother, and then the police show up and there's a bit of excitement and you get away, and that's not going to happen in a movie. That's a 20-minute scene.
Yeah.
And it's not just the time difference, it's just the way of telling a story is different. Because it's not that I haven't watched a movie where they had a bit of background and there's a couple of characters, and then an hour later somebody says something and it breaks your heart because you're like, oh my God, that reminds me of the thing that happened when they were kids. Like, movies can do it, but I think nobody in movie, like, this all came about because you're saying they're adapting video games. I don't think anybody who's decided to adapt a video game has realized that you can't just make the video game into a bloody movie. You have to just take the idea and do something else with it.
Yeah, 100%. I guess they kind of did a little bit like that with World of Warcraft, and that was one of the more successful ones as well.
Right.
But that's but that one didn't really have like a story to it. It's more of just a concept of orcs and humans and stuff.
Yeah,
but
and some games can't get adapted. Like, they don't work in a
story. Look at Mario Brothers.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Do you know they are looking to, or they have done signs like Uncharted the movie as well, which like is kind of gutting. Like, I'd rather them just leave it as the game, because the game is basically a movie. But they are looking to do that. If not, like, I think the script has already been signed off or written and stuff.
I heard they were doing what's his name, Tom Holland, Spider-Man dude. They're going to get him to play like a younger version of him.
You could be right. I'll quickly IMDb this, seeing as we have internet devices.
We have the internet connections. We don't have to use our brains like idiots. Actually, now that I think about it, probably the best movie video game ever was obviously Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, they were fun, actually.
They kept to the tone of what matters. Complete nonsense and just fights.
In development, Uncharted, Nathan Drake. You're right. Oh, second cast member for that is Bryan Cranston.
Really?
Yeah, they haven't got I don't know who he's going to play, but he's on the team. So there we go.
I wonder if they'll I'm going to sneeze. No, it didn't come out. Damn it, I shouldn't have said anything. I wonder if they're going to do what they did with Godzilla and have the best actor killed in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
That was so stupid.
One of those come out.
Godzilla versus King Kong is coming out too, isn't it?
That's coming out, and then there's a new Japanese Godzilla, like how they like to kind of do it. I almost feel like when they do it, they're just like, we're going to do it properly. Like, the Western version always fucks us up. So, because it's like, Godzilla's their baby, their kaiju. So
Do you want to know what the
That's
best ranked video game movie on Rotten Tomatoes is, by the way?
let me try and guess, but I mean, I hope to God it's not Tomb Raider, but best video game, is it World of Warcraft? I don't know. What would it be?
This is a sad list. I'm not gonna lie. Anybody out there listening, this is a list that will make you feel bad about the world.
What's number one?
The number one game movie of all time, rating wise, is Rampage.
Oh my
with
God,
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
And that came out a year ago, and it's already number one.
That's
awful.
At 52%. You were so
Yeah.
close because Tomb Raider is 51%.
Oh God.
It's number 2. And then you go through the rest of the list, like the top 10 list is made up with Angry Birds movie, the Pokemon movie from 2017,
Yeah.
Resident Evil, the final chapter, Mortal Kombat, Prince of Persia.
Oh goodness. Yeah, Prince of Persia. Resident Evil. I thought that would have been maybe even higher, but yeah.
Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, 16, Warcraft, 15. It springs to my head, there's that new one, Detective Pikachu, coming out.
Yeah, didn't Ryan Reynolds do some kind of reveal
doing
for
the
that or
voice of
something?
Pikachu?
So,
But like
yeah,
that seems to me to be exactly what I was talking about. It's like, just take the bloody character and just do something completely new with it.
Yeah, just be ridiculous. Like, especially when it's Pokemon. But so you're saying Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Pikachu?
Yeah, he's doing the voice of a Pikachu, and I think he's the only Pokemon who can speak to humans. Like all the other Pokemon just say their Pokemon name, like they used to Pikachu or whatever. But Ryan Reynolds, his character can actually talk to other humans.
That's hilarious.
Or at least he can talk to the main character in it. So, yeah. They have to work
I never
together.
got into Pokemon, but I'm sure it's going to be very, very popular.
Let's go through some more of these great lists. Assassin's Creed, Max Payne, Hitman, Mario Brothers. Jesus, how did they fuck this up?
What place was Mario Brothers?
32, 14%
32.
rating.
That was a huge fuck up. Even back when it released, like no one could like that. So.
No. Tekken. Do you know there's a Tekken movie?
I did. Is it animated or
no? 2009. Starred Luke Goss.
Oh wow.
And got 0%.
0%. That's an achievement right there.
And Blood Rain 2 Deliverance also has 0%.
That's a decent game, that Blood Rain.
Yeah.
RPG.
Silent Hill. God, just stop trying to do it. Stop trying to make video games. That Assassin's Creed one, I forgot about that with Fassbender.
Oh, that's with Fassbender. Yeah. I never saw that.
So stupid.
Yeah.
They're trying to make a video game about a guy's memories. Like, what the fuck are you doing? How am I supposed to care about people who have been dead for 500 years?
I just realized as well that he's done that, and then his wife went and did Tomb Raider. They're just like, they must be massive gamers or something.
They just know where the money is. Get your $1 million paycheck and go home.
Yeah.
No one's going to remember it in a year.
Pay the mortgage. Yeah, that Tomb Raider one, as much as I wanted to like it, it just blended in. It just blended into all the other movies. And no one will remember it. No one will care. So
yeah, that's the other thing I think that at least I've seen it with some shows. Like Game of Thrones is sort of a good example, but a lot of shows and movies now have kind of realized that you can't just blend in anymore. Like people aren't just going to take the shit anymore.
Yeah,
they actually want something that's going to be a little bit daring, a little bit risky, a little bit whatever. But that being said, Aquaman's the most successful DC movie of all time, and whatever.
Look, I was very surprised that it kind of beat The Dark Knight as well. I was like, okay, guys, I said I enjoyed it, but it's just like money-wise, I think it overtook those films, didn't it?
Yeah. Which doesn't really mean a lot, but it means that he's the greatest hero of all time.
I know. He's loving it. So.
The other weird thing I've noticed about Aquaman is that I haven't seen it, so I can't judge it. But everybody just seems to everyone just seems to say, oh, I really like Jason Momoa.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it has nothing to do with the movie. It's like, I really like Jason Momoa. It's like, yeah, all right, I'd have a drink with the lad, but it doesn't mean I like his movie. Like, that's not enough to give him money for a movie.
I do feel like a lot of people I talk to are exactly the same as well. They were just like, yeah, he was good in it. He's a good guy. And I think someone even mentioned, they were just like, yeah, it'd be good to go to a pub with him, wouldn't it? Just have a little chat.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, what's that got to do with him being a fucking fish? So.
So what else have we got left on our list to talk about this week? Mostly been boring people with stuff we haven't watched, haven't done, and haven't gone anywhere.
I've mentioned most of the good stuff. I mean, the Oscars was on. I guess the last thing on my list was good old Blue Willy. So,
that's a good thing about coming to our. So. It's a good thing coming to our podcast is when it comes to controversy and all the things that are blowing up the social media, we don't care. Doesn't fucking matter. Everyone's off talking about the Oscars host and stuff, and I'm like, North Korea has nuclear weapons, right?
I know.
It's like, I just don't care. It doesn't bother me enough that I'm going to have a conversation with somebody about it. Brie Larson said something about interviewers. Really? Because there was like a measles outbreak in a school here in Vancouver, so, the health of these children mean more to me than that. I just don't give a shit.
People just go off on things, but that's what keeps us talking about those assholes. So
that's true.
But
speaking of assholes, Blue Willy Smith.
No, I don't really have too much to say about it, to be honest, apart from I feel sick. But it was just seeing him at the end of it. I was just like, are we watching Avatar? And also, who did the CGI for it? I know, there's like lots of After Effects tutorials where people are making themselves blue, but doing a better job than what was done in the trailer and stuff. But I don't know. Did he need to be blue? What are your thoughts on it?
I saw someone posted a photo from Will Smith's audition for Mystique. I saw one of those,
okay,
and it was like, but yeah, I had this problem when I watched Beauty and the Beast, and I don't think the general audience out there, nobody could name the voice actors for anybody in the original Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
Maybe like some hardcore fans were, but we all watched them when we were kids. It's not one of those things that stands out. But if you name the original Aladdin, nobody can name who plays the king, or maybe who even plays Jasmine, or even who plays Aladdin. But everybody knows the genie was Robin Williams.
Sure, yeah.
And like, there's no way around that. That's not like, oh, Robin Williams is dead, let's remember him in a good light or anything. It's like, no, he was so big and so famous, and he created this character that Robin Williams is the genie.
Yeah.
And I can't name who played the Lion King. I think it was Matthew Broderick played the Lion King in the original. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's no other voices that really are stuck to a character quite like that.
Yeah. So
actually, I'll give you a perfect example to bring up the Lion King. The voice who played the original father is playing the father in the new one.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah, because there's no one who can replace him. You know who the voice is?
No, who is the voice?
Well, you probably know his voice because he's in a little movie called Star Wars.
Oh, is it? It's not. What do you call it?
Yeah, it's James Earl Jones.
Or whatever.
No, not Mark Hamill. James Earl Jones.
Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah.
The guy who played Vader's voice, he plays Simba's father. So he's like, son, all this, and they can't replace him, so they're just going to get him back to do it again because his voice is so iconic, and that's the one that we associate, that you're not going to be able to change it.
Sure, yeah.
So Disney are aware enough of the fact that some voices have connected with some characters, but now they decided that they're going to give a brand new voice to the same character and a brand new look. And they're not going to make him a CG character, and they're they're gonna make him look like a Smurf. Like
Yeah.
it seems like they broke every brain cell in that decision.
I think someone
Like
was
at the
just
very least, make him a CG character. Make him a
that's
like
yeah.
like a Gollum or a Andy Serkis thing. You know, give him that mocap suit so he can be a little bit stretchy and bendy and a little bit weird, so
That's
it doesn't
exactly what
quite
I
look
thought
like
they were
Will
gonna do.
Smith in blue makeup.
Yeah, exactly. I thought they were going to do that. Like, use Will Smith's voice and all that lot, but use, 80% CGI and just allude to that it looks like him. So that's what's so... Because I mean, he's obviously floating, and I don't think he has, like, much of a body. But, yeah, just it was such a strange thing to see at the end of the trailer. I don't know if... And he's got to be in the movie, like, a lot, so... I think it's going to be one of those things where people are going to like analyze it and go like they just tinted his skin or something, or I don't know.
Yeah. The other thing I don't get is, like I was saying with the Beauty and the Beast remake, I watched it and I was fine, but the people I've seen who've watched it, like girls who watched it when they were a kid, now they're watching again as adults, and even like boys or whatever, everyone had the same kind of reaction. It's like, it's good, but it's not as good as the original one because there's no magic.
Yeah.
Like it lost that magic feeling to it.
Yeah, 100%.
We're back to the discussion about mediums and stuff. Like there's things you can do in an animated movie that you can't do in a live action movie, and that's part of the charm and part of the appeal and part of the magic of it. So the Beauty and the Beast thing is just like, it's a safe bet, easy swing, couple of $1 million in the bank for Disney. It's like, we know it works, we know people want to see it, we make it exactly the same, we put the same songs in it and whatever. And it's like, you're doing that with Aladdin now, and you're doing it with Lion King, you're probably going to do it with, I don't know, whatever else, Snow White or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just, even though it's their own property and even though they're doing it with a lot of respect, it really bugs me as just being a cash grab. And I kind of hope that this Aladdin one, where they can't do a cash grab completely because everyone's going to analyze the Will Smith factor.
Yeah,
it might just put a dent in this little remake scenario thing.
Yeah, because they've been on a bit of a rolling streak. So hopefully this one, it's already going to be kind of going in with negative press because of that. So
yeah, because I think these two back to back, like the Lion King. It's a great story, great songs. Everybody loves it. Everybody remembers it. But if you look at the digital effects on like a live action lion talking to a parrot or talking to a hyena, it looks weird. It's not as easy to enjoy as an animation is.
Sure. Yeah.
And I could go off on why that is and a whole fucking spiel and philosophy and medium, but it's just like cartoons and animation are not the same as live action, and you lose something when you're trying to translate it. So between The Lion King losing its universal appeal and this, casting switcheroo in Aladdin for a very iconic character and a very iconic role, I think these two movies might make or break Disney's chances of making any more live action. Like this is the biggest, like they got to get over this hump if they're going to get enough of a momentum to keep rolling out these live action remakes.
Yeah, I think you're right. And you wouldn't have thought it would have been these two films that would do that, especially Lion King, but Aladdin is huge for them as well. But I do agree, the Lion King being a cartoon has that kind of has a certain vibe to it. It's now that it's like a realistic fur of the lion, and it's going to be quite violent, to be honest. So, it's going to have a different feeling. So it's not going to be like that cartoon version. So yeah, I'll see. It'll be interesting to see how it does rating wise. It's almost like you almost feel like the press is going to give it a 10 because it's the Lion King. So I'm hoping whoever reviews it does a proper job.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, like I just hope that the story will still be the same, and I know the story's good, but maybe they'll learn the lesson that the story and the way it was told can't be separated.
Well, the one thing is,
which is back to what we were saying about like Uncharted 4. It's like A video game doesn't work just because of the story in the game. It works because of the way you tell it as a game. And if you just try and pull one thing out and leave another thing away, you're going to lose a big chunk of it. And I think Beauty and the Beast, it was like, okay, you have a lot of CG in there because there's a beast, there's a talking clock, there's a talking teapot. You can get away with it. But with this one, you got Aladdin where you've got actors, and then you've got Blue Willy Smith, and then you've got the Lion King with the fur, and it's supposed to be an animal, but it looks like a person. I think this might be like a breaking point where people are going to be like, you know what? I'm not buying into this Disney. It's not, you can't change that as much as you have and expect me still to like it based just on the fact that I have nostalgia for it.
The one thing with Lion King that people analyze the trailer is it was frame by frame the same as the movie. So I don't know, like, if they're being that anal with it, as in like we're just gonna copy the movie, but it's just gonna look realistic, which seems a little odd. I mean, obviously they've got to add scenes here and there, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Kind of, I do agree with you. I think having that realistic look could change that, and then obviously Blue Willy might fuck everything up. So.
Well, he's going to fuck it up anyway, because if they're going the route of Beauty and the Beast, where they're just going to remake it exactly as it was, and Lion King's going to remake it shot for shot,
I'm pretty
what
sure
the fuck are they going to do
doing.
with Blue Willy? Because he can't just recreate the Robin Williams jokes, because the jokes are funny, but they're also, 20, 30 years old.
Yeah. They'll just... Yeah, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I'm not a huge Disney person, or I didn't grow up with Disney. I don't even remember Aladdin too much, so I don't even remember the jokes and stuff. So
I remember the video game is pretty good.
So I remember the video game, yeah, and the movie they made with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was
like Aladdin came out in, what was it? I was 10 years old, so that would have been about 90. I don't know, 93, 92.
Yeah. Funny enough,
so
like you just mentioned, I 100% know that Robin Williams was the voice, even though I'm not a big Disney person. So, but I knew that he was. Don't know anyone else. So,
yeah,
but,
I think what made him probably one of the standouts is like it's when animation was first happening. It's one of the first movies that started using CGI and stuff. But he was also Robin Williams, so he went into the voice booth and just improv and just did his jokes and just did his stuff.
Robin Williams. That's Robin Williams for you, yeah.
Yeah. And then they worked the rest of the story and the rest of the whole character's dialogue around what he said. Because they're like, okay, he's too funny and he's too energetic. We have to make the movie work around him.
Yeah, interesting. That's cool.
So it's not a case of...
He was big. He was big enough that they would do that as well.
Yeah, like I'd say go and watch Aladdin if you're going to watch anything. You got the little lad now. You have an excuse.
Yeah.
And it's just, if you watch that movie, you can see that even though the general story is in there, every scene that the genie's in after that, to a point, is clearly switching. It's like, it's the whirlwind that they call Robin Williams. Like, he is affecting everything that's happening in that film.
Yeah.
From the moment he enters the screen. So even though the genie's arc was pretty much in there, this guy comes in and he's just hitting ad-libs and he's hitting all these jokes. So, the animators have to make a joke. They have to animate him like this. They have to put him in this scene. And I'm like, great. Try and do that with Willie Smith. Blue Willie Smith, how's he going to do that?
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on him, and the trailer's coming out. I don't know when. I think that must be out in the summer, I guess, with Lion King.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. All I care about now is, like you said, April. Magic April. Game of Thrones, Infinity War. Or Endgame, whatever they're calling it.
On the next episode, I'll let you guys know my predictions for Game of Thrones, seeing as I'm filling out that sheet. I'll get you to do one as well, Paul.
I'll tell you my predictions right now. The White Walkers all win. Everybody dies. And it's a lesson in that if you don't work together, you're all fucked.
You know what? The funny thing is, I can actually see it possibly going very close to that. So,
either that, or here's one for you. I just got it in my head. This is what's happening. All the White Walkers take over. They're in control of everything, and then what's his name? The the Ice King or the Snow King,
Yeah.
whatever it is. He's about to sit on the Iron Throne,
Yeah.
and then he gets stabbed, and he dies. And who does he get stabbed by? Zombie Joffrey. Little zombie Joffrey's there, and he sits on the throne.
I could see something similar to that happening, because I think they've already mentioned once the king dies, the rest of them do. So I can actually see. I'm pretty sure they mentioned that, didn't they? So I can see it getting very close to something like that, where it's like everyone's fucked. The king has taken over many people. You're probably seeing the Hound and everyone as like Ice Walkers or whatever, and then suddenly something happens at the end where it's like boom, and then a good chunk of them are all dead. So. By the way,
it's just the dragons. The only things that are left are dragons. All the humans are dead.
I don't know if you heard about. I just thought I work in advertising, so I thought this was quite funny. I was looking up whiskies and stuff, and you know Johnny Walker did a Game of Thrones whiskey, and it's called Ice Walker.
Nice.
And it's and I think it's just using the Johnny Walker Red, but the actual bottle is quite cool. And then when you put it in the freezer, there's like it comes out of all these like kind of blue, very kind of translucent blue lines all over it. So I thought it was kind of cool little marketing.
I heard there was a Game of Thrones wine
collection
Ice Walker
coming out. White. There is the wine. Yeah, sorry, it was White Walker whiskey. Sorry, not Ice Walker. White Walker, because they've got all the red, blue labels, and this is the white label. So, yeah, there is wine as well. I believe that's sold out, but the actual White Walker one you can pick up in LCBOs now for a reasonable price.
Don't have that over here, Al. That's one of your weird Ontario things I don't have to deal with anymore.
Right. That's right, isn't it?
I have BC liquor.
BC liquor.
Yep. Well. Make any jokes about that you want.
I mean, I don't even know where to start. So.
Yeah. So next week we'll talk about the predictions, Game of Thrones. We'll get into some more Game of Thrones stuff. Maybe I'll watch a few episodes to reacquaint myself.
And we'll promise to get the names right. I just remember last year we were just I was like, look, the guy the ginger guy with the beard, and then
the ginger fellow, Ed Sheeran, him, that lad.
Yeah, the other one with the robe thing. They're all wearing robes. Yeah, him.
The one with the dirt on his face.
We'll get some predictions going there, and then it won't be far out for that and in the end game. But I'm sure between then we'll probably see another blue willy. I think that pretty wraps it up for me. What about you, man?
Wraps it up for me too. Yeah, it's good to get back. Good to talk to everybody.
Yes, it is indeed. And like we said, we'll keep these rolling. We're not going to apologize for being gone for 6 months, because we just don't do that. But,
yeah, that's true.
But we will keep them going. And the fact that you've moved almost a country away and babies have been popping out, we've got good excuses.
Yeah, you can't get any better excuses. But now we're all out of excuses, so we just have to get back to work.
Back to it.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks, guys. And as always, tweet us or message us if you want us to cover a certain thing, or just ask us a question. But we will we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for listening, guys. Like I said, I'm all out of excuses.
See you later, guys.